everyone. My name is Chloe, and today I'm here to do my second part of my January wrap-up. So the past couple months, I have been trying to split my wrap-ups into two parts, just so it's a little bit less overwhelming and a little bit less of me just telling you 1.5 million books. So this is everything I have read from the 16th to the 31st of January. So there were still 14 books, so I have a fair amount to talk about. And then I printed off all of my graphs and things, and you guys, I don't even know which stats to share with you because I am just loving having my spreadsheet. January was my first full month of spreadsheet tracking, and I'm happy to tell you I stuck with it and I'm hooked. So as far as stats go, I read 14 books, which was a total of 4,924 pages, which averages to 308 pages a day, which is so much. The average book length was 352 pages, and so all 14 were novels. 13 were by female authors, and 1 was by a male author. 11 of them were books off my shelf, and only 3 were books that I got from elsewhere. As far as star ratings go, I had 1 4.5 star, 3 4 stars, 5 3.5 stars, 2 3 stars, and 1 2.5. So that averages out to 3.32, which is a little lower than I would have liked, but so it goes. As far as publication year, I had 2 that were in the 90s, 1990 to 1999, 2 that were 2000 to 2009, 3 that were 2010 to 2014, 2 that were 2015 to 19, 3 that were 2020 releases, and 2 that were 2021 releases. As far as where I read them, like I said, 11 were on my shelf, so I had them physically. However, I love to have my physical books and then find an ebook or audiobook just to help me read them a little quicker. So I read 2 from Audible, 3 from Hoopla, none from Kindle Unlimited, none off my Kindle, 3 from Libby, 2 from NetGalley, 2 physically off my shelf, and 2 from Scribd. So that's kind of where it's at. The Kindle Unlimited thing, I really want to track that just to see if I'm using it. But my mom and grandma and I all share a Kindle account. So just because I'm not using it doesn't mean it's not getting used. So that is not a service that I will necessarily get rid of if I'm not using it. I just still would really like to be utilizing it as much as possible since I do have that service. The last stat that I'll share is that 12 were adults and 2 were young adults. I'm not going to share genre. I feel like they're kind of arbitrary. Is it a romance? Is it a contemporary? Is it a women's fiction? And I've read some that were historical. So are they historical? Are they romance? Are they historical romance? It's just too gray for me right now. So I'm not going to share genre, but let's just get into the books. So I'm going to go, as always, in the order that I read them. I vlog every single day. And so I will link all of the vlogs or the vlog playlist down below. So if you want to hear any more of my thoughts, you can go to the vlog. I tend to put the picture of the book in the thumbnail so you can see what books I'm going to be talking about. So if you have any interest in any more of these, go ahead and go to the vlog. So the first one is The Parting by Beverly Lewis. I gave that 3 stars. This is an Amish romance. It's the first in a series, and it was good. It just was not something I'm going to continue with. Then I read An Alaskan Twin Surprise by Belle Calhoune, and I gave that 4 stars. That was our book club pick for the Book Sisters, and I really enjoyed it. It's been kind of a while since we've had a good one, so that one was really good. It is a second chance romance. This girl has left town, and she's since had a baby, and now she's back, and so it was really good. I really liked it. Next was Layla by Colleen Hoover, and I also gave that 4 stars. This is her first venture into paranormal, and I was really intrigued. I really loved kind of the gothic atmosphere of it, and overall it was very entertaining. There were definitely some times where you have to suspend your disbelief. It was a little bit far-fetched, but 4 stars, I still really enjoyed it. Next was Ladies of the Lake by Haywood Smith, and I gave that one 3 stars. It was okay. It was about a bunch of ladies and their romance. It's older ladies. They're all retired even, I think. They're much older than your typical female heroines, but it was okay. It just was not anything special. Next was Bridesmaids by Zara Stoneley. This was a very low 3 stars, and I truthfully don't even remember that much about it, except it was a lot of drama, a lot of interconnections of people sleeping with other people and things going on. Just a lot of drama. Next was Guilty Wives by James Patterson. So this is about 3 or 4 friends who are on vacation in Monaco, I think, or maybe Monte Carlo. I don't know. I'm screwed. Every time I talked about it, I think I said somewhere different, but I think it is Monte Carlo. They're on vacation. They're all moms and wives and that kind of stuff. And yet they are like living the high life. They're going to these yacht parties and partying with these big name celebrities and all that kind of stuff. And then one of the guys that they were partying with is found dead. Further complicating it, it was the French president. And so everybody is out for their heads because they think these women did it. So it is kind of a whodunit of like, did they do it? Did they not? The women are in jail for a lot of the story because they were accused of it, but one of them is saying we are innocent. So I really liked it. James Patterson is great. 3.5 stars. I would recommend it. Next was The House That Love Built by Beth Wiseman. This is a Christian fiction about a guy and a girl. She, I think, is a widow, and she has 2 like tween kids. He moves into town and buys this house. She works in the hardware store, or maybe even owns the hardware store, and so she kind of helps him fix up his house. And I really liked that, like, at first anyway, she was not your typical heroine, and she was kind of a tomboy, and yet she was beautiful. She was kind of very well-rounded. But then as the story goes on, it is a very typical Christian fiction where they fall into stereotypical gender roles, and it becomes a little cringy, especially because she was such a strong woman before. So I still gave it 4 stars because it was really sweet and enjoyable. Next is Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, and I gave this one 3.5 stars. And I went in completely blind, and this one is a YA romance, and I liked it quite a bit. I just didn't love it. So 3.5 stars on that one. Then I read Gimme by Sarah Mlynowski, I think is how you say it, and I gave that one 3.5 stars as well. This is another YA, and it is about this girl who gets broken up with by her boyfriend of like 4 years, and she just wishes it all wouldn't have happened. And so then she gets a phone call, and it's from herself as a freshman in high school, so 4 years ago, before it ever started. And she has the opportunity then to change things. And so it's a girl, I can't remember what her name was, but our freshman character and our senior character, and like the freshman would do things and we would see how it would impact the senior. And so it did get a little bit repetitive, but I am also a 31-year-old woman, and so reading this was like, it was a good but not great. But if I would have read it at 16 or 17, I think I would have loved it. So it also kind of gave me those Landline vibes, and I thought it was really, really enjoyable. 3.5 stars. Next, I read The Ones Who Got Away by Roni Loren, and this one I read as a part of the recommendation readathon, and you guys, I really did not like it. I gave it 2 stars. So part of the problem with this one, I think, is I went in expecting a book about school shootings or about a school shooting and then the aftermath. And I expected that we would get to see some of that, like the school shooting, so we could really get the two bonded together. And we got a very little bit, but the majority of the story is that the 2 characters, they were 2 people involved in this school shooting. They are back to do like a documentary, and it's their relationship. They kind of had a thing going on at the time of the shooting, and now they're adults many years later. And it's just a very, very, very steamy romance. And we don't really get anything about the school shooting. We just know that they were a part of that. And so that's how they know each other. And like I said, I wish we would have gotten to see more of that time when they're in high school, because that would be a really easy way to get you emotionally invested in this couple, but we didn't get that. So I didn't really love it. Next is The Love Square by Laura Jane Williams, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. I loved it. So this is an arc. It's being re-released. I think it came out originally in 2020, and now it's being re-released in 2021. It is out by the time you see this. So this one is about a main character who has a lot going on. She's in her 30s. She is a cancer survivor, and she's got an uncle who is like a dad to her. She's got a sister who's a really great friend. She is wearing a million different hats, and she's really just not sure which ones fit her and what's right for her. And so this book is really just a journey of self-exploration, but it's done in such a fun rom-com way. I loved it. So she obviously finds herself in a love square where she's got 3 different guys, but it's not at all like cringy or over the top smutty. Like, it's not very steamy at all. In fact, I think it's fade to black. I don't remember for sure, but she's got these guys, and she's definitely picking relationships that she knows are temporary, and she's pretty upfront with them about that. And so it's not terrible as far as, like, if you don't like love triangles or cheating or any of that kind of stuff. There's none of that really going on. It's really more about her and her self-development. And she, like I said, is a cancer survivor, and so she had frozen some eggs, and actually made embryos with a sperm donor. And so she's kind of deciding, like, I'm in my 30s, I'm single. Is now the time to maybe think about becoming a single mom? And if so, how do I do that? And I loved the sibling relationship. She's got a sister that she's very close with. I loved the uncle and her relationship with him. And there's a lot of LGBTQIA plus rep in this, because her uncle is married to a man. Her sister is maybe married. I'm not sure if they're married or just partners with a woman. And those things are handled really well, in my opinion, because they're not, like, brought up as being different or weird. It's just part of it. I also thought the fertility was done really well. And I just liked our main character, so I liked seeing her journey. So 4.5 stars on that one. Really enjoyed it. Next is The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. So this one also has a really great gothic vibe. I've heard it's kind of a retelling of Jane Eyre, but it's been so many years since I read it, Jane Eyre, I can't really speak to that, but it definitely has a gothic vibe. It's about this woman. She's a dog walker in this super, like, prestigious community, and she runs into this guy named Eddie. Eddie is supposedly a widower. His wife has gone missing, and her best friend is dead. She is presumed dead with her, but they don't have a body. And so there's a lot of mystery surrounding what happened to his wife. And our main character also is definitely not a reliable narrator. We know that her past is really sketchy, and we don't know a whole lot about it. And it all comes out in the end. But the twist, I thought, was pretty, like, early and easy to spot. And it also was just like, I feel like I've read this book before, so it wasn't anything, well, which I maybe have with Jane Eyre, but, like, I don't know. I have no recollection of Jane Eyre, so I don't know which parts are the same, but, like, it just felt kind of blah. The atmosphere was good. The tension was good. Kind of the gothic nature of it was nice. So I gave that one 3.5 stars. And then the last two I'm not going to talk about here, because they were a part of a secret TBR that was 3 books, and I did not get the third done in time. And so you will see that here coming up sometime around here, or either before or after, probably after this vlog. So I'm not going to talk about them, but I did read 2 more, and I read them physically, and it was a process. So that is my January wrap up. How was your January? Was the end of the month good, bad? What was the best thing you read in January, and what was the worst thing? Tell me those things below. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next one.